Hi Amanda, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on the Leading Ladies TV show. For the for the viewers at home, I just wanted to let you know that I've invited Forrest on to share his story. He's actually the reason I am now going to do a guest spot every month for Leading Men, because Forrest got such an amazing story to share that I didn't want any of our viewers to miss out. So thanks so much for agreeing to this, Forrest.
Oh, you're welcome. And great to see all you ladies.
Did you know you were our first leading man?
No, I'm honored the first leading man.
You are. Just to introduce you, Forrest Willet is a very dear friend of mine. He's from Canada. He's a father, a speaker, and an author, among many things, as well as just being a generally wonderful person who I'm honoured to know. He's written a book called Emotional Success, and it's a really touching story about recovery from brain injury, of which Forrest's experienced. And also he talks sort of candidly about learning to love and accept yourself just the way you are. So we are really honoured to have you here. And Forrest, I just invite you to start at the beginning and share your story with the viewers.
Okay, I would start in October of 2002. I had a car for sale, and the gentleman wanted to try it out, so I sat in the passenger seat as he was test driving the car, and he was talking with his son on the cell phone and lost control. The car flipped several times end for end, so I ended up in the hospital with a catastrophic brain injury. Everything was as if I was a 2-year-old child again in a 31-year-old body. I had to learn how to read and write, how to walk without assistance, how to brush my teeth and comb my hair. Everything you take for granted every day, like waking up in the morning and texting your friends and checking emails, was gone. Everything had to be relearned, and it was very stressful and a hard road to go through. I suffered from depression for about 5 years, and also had 5.5 years of speech therapy and occupational therapy and rehabilitation. And then one day I was laying in bed watching TV, and on the television came this person named Jack Canfield with his new book, The Success Principle, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And I pulled the covers off my head thinking, wow, I don't know where I want to be, but I don't want to be here anymore. So I went and bought the book, brought it to my speech therapist. I was all excited because this gentleman, Jack, said, what would you do if there were no limitations, if anything was possible? And I lied there in bed thinking, wow, I would overcome all my disabilities. So not only would I learn to read and write again, I would write books. Not only would I learn to speak fluently again, I would become a professional speaker. And not only would I overcome depression, I would inspire many others to overcome depression themselves. And I've accomplished every one of those goals. And against everybody's doubts in me and doubts in myself, I just went for it. I took action and started moving towards my goals each day. And here I am 7 years later after picking up that book and working with Jack, assisting him in his trainings. It's just been an unbelievable trip for me. And so this year, I've been talking about overcoming fears and loving and accepting myself for who I am. And I realized that that's really the core of everything. People want to be loved and accepted. And so this year in October, I picked up the phone and I asked the most difficult question I've ever asked in my life. And that was, what color are your eyes? And the reason it was such a difficult question is I asked that question to my mother. I picked up the 10,000-pound telephone and called her and made contact with her for the first time in 35 years. And I just wanted to know those things. Do you love me? What color are your eyes? Do you like funny movies? And so I left it with her if she'd like to contact me again. And I haven't spoken with her since. She did send an email, so we'll see how that goes. But I can say that I truly love and accept myself just the way I am. And for the friends and family that I have, I'm grateful for that, such as yourself and Terry. Beautiful friends are my family, and that gives me the inspiration to get up every day and keep doing what I'm doing.
You are absolutely amazing. With the, I mean, we chat. I know the story of your mum, and that you've not been in contact for those many years. And was that, Forrest, something that was difficult in terms of, when your mum left? Is that goes through your head that maybe you're not deserved of love, or you can't be accepted?
Absolutely. Yes, and that's how I felt my whole life, growing up thinking I'm not worthy of love. My mother left when I was 6 years old, and we were left with an alcoholic, abusive father. He was married 6 times, so I ran away at the age of 14. And growing up all this time and having your own father saying, not even your own mother loves you. You have this hole inside of you, many holes. And it doesn't matter how much love other people keep putting in, it just keeps draining out these holes. That's the only way I can explain it. And you feel empty inside. So you could be surrounded by so many, yet you feel so alone. And then I didn't see it at the time, but I was the one that was responsible to patch those holes up, so that when people would fill me with love, I would be full. And so I worked on myself and loving and accepting myself for my abilities and my disabilities, accept where I am in life at this point, and then move forward from there with my goal. And the weight of the world was just lifted off my shoulders once I started to do that and say, I am worthy of love. It's just an amazing feeling that I never felt love until I loved myself. That's what it boils down to. And it's just a great, great feeling. And I'm just so grateful to have so many wonderful people in my life.
I feel really emotional, Forrest, because, having met you, having been your friend, and experienced the hugs that you give, you really do feel like a member of my family. Last time we said goodbye, when we were over in America, I felt the tug that I used to, have if I say goodbye to my sister or my brother. It's so nice to know that you're feeling that way. Can I ask about, you because it's been so long since you had the brain injury, when you say you had to learn to read and write again, and you had to learn to walk and this kind of thing, you were a father at the time, weren't you? You'd already had your son.
Yes, my son was 2 years old at the time. So what happened was, unfortunately, we grew apart. And you think, well, as a 2-year-old child, you should be bonding with your child. And I wasn't doing that. I was so stuck in these poor me stories. Poor me, life sucks, oh, I have a brain injury. It was just poor me, poor me. And so it came to the point where I had suicidal thoughts. I thought, if this is the way my life's going to be, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's actually at the time when the success principles came out, and I was introduced to Jack Canfield's work. And little by little, I dug myself out of that hole. And it was at my son's 7th birthday party. I heard the 3 words, "Baseballs don't bounce," and that was the turning point in my life and in my recovery. One of my son's friends bought him a baseball and a glove, and he ripped the package open, dropped the ball on the ground, and watched it roll in the dirt a few feet. And he picked it up again and dropped it, and his friend shouted, "Baseballs don't bounce." And those 3 words just crushed me. I broke down crying. I had to go in the house. I thought, wow, here's my son, 7 years old. Someone else has taught him how to ride a bike, how to skate. I've never thrown a ball with him. And that was the day I gave up all my excuses and poor me stories and decided to take 100% responsibility for my life. You know, if I was going to be a great father, the one that I always said I was going to be and not like my father, I had to take responsibility and change the way I was acting and the way I was living my life. And it was then I also realized that you can't talk your way out of something you've behaved yourself into. You know, people can say, I'm sorry, but if you're acting in a certain way, you can't talk your way out of that. You have to change your action and change the way you live your life and the way you treat people. And for me, since I started doing that, my life has just blown up 1,000 times, more than I could ever dream that it would. My life is just so amazing, and wow, it's just a great feeling every day.
That's so wonderful. You know, when you had the brain injury, was it because you're saying was it that there was cognitive challenges in terms of you weren't able to remember how to read and how to write, but your actual thoughts were still that of an able-bodied person?
Yes. See, I would work with my speech therapist, and I would try to write a check, and I couldn't write the words. You know, she would say 708, and I would just make something that was totally different. Words that I knew that I wanted to say. It's very similar to someone having a stroke, and you know what you want to say, but the words don't come out. So I would be at a coffee shop, and I would say, I will have 2 creams in my transmission, which totally makes no sense. But to me, I was just listening to somebody saying their transmission was gone in their truck. So that was in my head. But really what I wanted to say was, I'll have 2 cream in my coffee. Or I would point at a stove or an oven. I know what it does. I can point at it. The words are on the tip of my mouth. But it won't come out. And the big thing is, people think that people with a brain injury are stupid or they've lost their intelligence. And that's not the case at all. Everything is still in here. It's just having trouble getting it out of your mouth and getting the proper words out and what you want to say.
How long did that whole journey take? Because now you've written a book.
Yes. It was about 5.5 years that I was in full-time rehabilitation, 3 to 4 days a week. And then I was set to go out on my own. At the 2-year mark, the doctors at the head injury hospital said that I had plateaued, which means I've reached 95 to 98% of the spontaneous recovery you can expect. So just accept, where you are and live with it. That's what I was told. And I don't think I plateaued. They weren't on the same mountain as me, because I didn't start really climbing until the 3rd year and really making great progress. And so many people give up on themselves when they're told by a doctor that this is it, you're done, this is as far as you're going to go. It's easy to give up because you think they know what they're talking about, they're the experts, let's listen to them. And now I volunteer and I coach with so many people who've had brain injuries and strokes that are making amazing progress against everything that the doctors have told them. And I don't give people false hope, but they should at least have some hope that there is a better life.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we all want in life, whether whether we've had an injury or a stroke, or whether we haven't. Hope and having something to look forward to and moving forwards is really what keeps us all happy, isn't it?
It is, and it's a tough journey from hopelessness to happiness. But we can all get there as long as you keep moving every day and going towards your goals. And people would say, oh, you have to set goals. And when I was suffering with depression, I thought, I don't have any goals. I was asked, well, what do you want? I said, I want to be well again, emotionally well. Well, that's a goal. Well, I made that my goal, and I moved towards that. And when the accident happened, I had 8 businesses with 23 employees. I thought I was on top of the world, and I was chasing this dream of success, which I thought was success. In my head was financial success, growing up poor. And now I realize it's emotional success. I want to be happy whether I have a lot of money or no money. And if you can do that, you're successful, I believe.
I absolutely agree with you there. That I absolutely 100% take Jack's work on, and the success principles. It's part of where the lipstick principles has come from, and it's a really strong message that we give out at the Leading Ladies, which is, what is happiness to you? Because it's usually the times when you're driving around down a road, recalling a moment and just appreciating everything around you, that puts the smile on your face. It's not counting the money.
No, no, not at all.
Oh, you're an amazing person, and I know you're doing so much for people that have had similar experiences to you, or people have had similar thoughts to you, and you're really going out and helping others make life happen, we would say at the Leading Ladies Company. What would be your key message to anybody listening in terms of finding that happiness and having hope, etc.?
I would say really just to love and accept yourself just the way you are. And I really believe that you can't rise any higher than the picture you paint of yourself. If you see yourself as held back or held down or a victim or poor me, I can't get ahead because I haven't been given a break, that's where you're always going to stay. So if you can paint a vision of yourself reaching your goals and being where you want to be and being happy in life, you will get there. So if you can visualize it, it will happen and you will be happy.
Thank you, Forrest, so much. I love my job. I'm so privileged to get to interview people like yourself with such an engaging story. So pleased that I got you as a friend, and so pleased I can share this message with so many others. It's an absolute joy. Thank you. We may have to call that a day for today. We've gone twice as long as normal, but who cares?
Well, I had to learn how to speak again, so now you can't shut me up. So.
Oh, well, lots of love to you, Forrest. Thanks again, and we will. I'll let people know it. The new book, Emotional Success, is out in a couple of weeks.
Yes, I'm hoping for it to be out by the end of February.
I absolutely suggest to everybody watching to go and read that book. It's a real journey of survival and success from an extraordinary man. So thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, and love to all you ladies.